If menopause has left you feeling anxious, even when there's nothing obvious to feel anxious about, you're not imagining it. You're definitely not alone. Menopause anxiety can be intense, and the way it shows up, racing thoughts and that awful feeling in your tummy, it really is different to any other anxiety you've ever felt before. So in this video, I want to show you something that's helped so many women feel calmer, more in control, and more like themselves again. And that's clinical hypnotherapy. And I'll share the story of one woman who said that her anxiety would start before she even opened her eyes in the morning, and how she began to feel better after just one session of clinical hypnotherapy. It's like driving a car that you've known your whole life, only now the steering's dodgy and the brakes won't even work, and every roundabout feels like an obstacle course. That's what menopause anxiety can feel like. You're still you, but those controls, they just don't respond the way they used to. One of my clients told me that her anxiety didn't even wait for her to get out of bed in the morning. The moment she realised she was waking up, even before she opened her eyes, her chest would tighten and her thoughts would start racing. She didn't feel panicky or tearful. She just felt anxious and worried about her day ahead. She didn't want to get out of bed. She had no energy, no motivation, definitely no spark. And after her first clinical hypnotherapy session, she felt a shift. And after just a few more sessions, she told me that she felt like her old self again. Now, if that story made you feel even a flicker of hope, just imagine how it might feel to experience that kind of shift yourself. And in a moment, I'll walk you through exactly what it's like to have a session so that you can picture it for yourself. Now, clinical hypnotherapy isn't magic, but it is gentle, safe, surprisingly powerful, and has no negative side effects. It works by guiding you into a deeply relaxed state and then using focused suggestions to help your nervous system calm down and feel safe again. It's like giving your brain a soft, supportive nudge that says, hey, it's okay now. You can stop bracing for disaster. And here's the lovely part. You don't have to do anything. There's no effort on your part at all. You just sit back, listen, and relax. And your sessions also include post-hypnotic suggestions. And these are wonderful calming cues that are given during your session that can kick in later on should any anxiety creep in again. They'll gently help to settle your mind before it starts to spiral. And if you're wondering what a clinical hypnotherapy session actually feels like, I'll explain that in just a moment, because it's probably not what you think. But first, let's be honest, most of the usual advice for anxiety doesn't really work when you're menopausal. You're told to think positively, breathe deeply, meditate, journal, change your mindset, change your life, change everything. But when your hormones are swinging backwards and forwards and your brain feels like scrambled eggs, even the smallest of tasks can feel impossible. That's why clinical hypnotherapy is emerging as such a helpful option for menopause anxiety, because it works with the way that your brain and body are wired right now, not how they used to be. And science backs it up too. Clinical hypnotherapy has been shown to help reduce anxiety, lower stress hormones, slow heart rate, and calm physical symptoms, often within a very short space of time. And it's not just about coping, it's about feeling better faster, and in a way that doesn't require all of your remaining energy. Now, in case you're wondering what a session actually feels like, no, you're not unconscious. You're not under a spell, and you don't have to cluck like a chicken either, unless that's somehow deeply therapeutic for you. It feels more like a deeply relaxing guided meditation with a mutually agreed beneficial outcome. You stay aware the whole time, you're in control the whole time, and you may feel noticeably better after just one session. But in most cases, the changes happen gently, steadily, over a short series of sessions. You're never dropped in cold. You always start with a full consultation so that your clinical hypnotherapist can understand exactly how menopause is affecting you. You'll talk through your symptoms, if there's anything that's triggering them, and how you want to feel instead. That way your sessions are tailored to you and nothing is left to guesswork. And if you get to the end of that consultation and you think that clinical hypnotherapy isn't the right fit for you, that's absolutely fine. You should be able to walk away without any charge or pressure to continue. Now, if you're feeling curious but unsure, let's take a moment to walk through how to find the right clinical hypnotherapist for you, because not all practitioners are the same, and finding someone you can trust can make all the difference. So here's what to look for. Firstly, ask about their training, their qualifications, what standards they've been trained to. Are they registered with a professional body? Don't be afraid to ask. Second, choose someone who specialises in menopause. Ideally, someone who's been through menopause themselves, because as we know, there's a huge difference between someone who's read about menopause and someone who's actually lived it. Third, ask questions. How long have they been supporting women with menopause anxiety? How do they expect to be able to help you? Can they give you a rough idea of how many sessions you might need and what the cost will be? Also, there's a big difference between clinical hypnotherapy, general hypnosis, and online recordings. A clinical hypnotherapist is trained in mental health support. General hypnotists might be trained for entertainment, or they may not have specialist training in anxiety. And while online recordings can be helpful for general stress, they're not designed for you. Also, they may not have been recorded by a clinical hypnotherapist, and they're not going to address your specific experience with menopause anxiety. A proper consultation gives you the chance to share what you're struggling with, how it began, what makes it worse, and how you'd like to feel instead. And that becomes the foundation of a plan that's just right for you. And if you decide not to go ahead, or you feel another therapist might suit you better, you shouldn't be charged, and there should never be any pressure to continue. And yes, it's totally normal to feel a bit unsure about being hypnotised. Pretty much everyone does before their first session. But more often than not, they leave saying something like, "Wow, that was amazing. It was nothing like I was expecting. When can I do it again?" And finally, yes, you can do it from home. Zoom sessions work just as well as in-person ones, so go with whatever feels easiest and most comfortable for you. And if you're still unsure and you've got more questions, then don't worry. I've created a separate video that answers the most common questions that women ask me about clinical hypnotherapy for menopausal mental health support. So click here to watch that video next. It might be the clarity that you need to decide what's right for you.